say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet, gonna educate your palate. Right here in Farmer's Kitchen, in 10 on Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now.
Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen brought to you by Woods Equipment Company has every tool you need to make working the land as rewarding as hunting it. L81 Bottling Company. Taste, love, and share the tradition. Rose Farm Supply. Family farming and commitment to our customers since 1982. Housewarmings, the outdoor living and fireplace experts.
You know what? A couple of years ago, I had a plan. In that house to do a country kitchen show. Well, that's a contemporary house. And in the back of my mind, I always wanted to do a classic country kitchen. The kind I remembered as a kid. The kind with the gas stove. The kind with the ice box that my grandparents had. They had to pump water to bring water in. They had an outhouse. They had coal oil lamps. Now, we have conveniences today. We have too many conveniences. I really wanted to have that unique situation when we walk in our kitchen to feel like we're going back in time. And finally, that's going to happen. So we say goodbye to our contemporary kitchen and we're going to our classic kitchen. And my dream has finally come true thanks to Harvest Energy Solutions and their Harvest cabin. Guess what? They drove it down the road. They brought it here. Look here. Came up my driveway into the woods. Check this out. I saw this outfit at the Farm Machinery Show in Louisville, and I saw the cabin. I fell in love with it. They can bring a cabin to anywhere. They fold the porches up, bring it in, set it up on your little piece of heaven, and guess what? You are hooked up and ready to go. So, again, goodbye, contemporary kitchen, off to the classic kitchen. This is going to take a minute. We got a little hike in front of us. Now, I think Nikki's already up here. We've been working hard to bring you the classic country kitchen. You're going to love it. That's the surprise I was talking about last week, by the way. You got the mushrooms ready? Yeah. I'm dying for some fresh mushrooms. Those beans are going to be done in a little while. Mushrooms.
What do you think?
I'm in heaven. I'm in the Harvest Cabin heaven. Look around. Now, we have collected, we went to Ohio. We found a lady who had the stove. Check a look at that beautiful stove. It never left Ohio, probably. We have all the old stuff. We have slicers and dicers and cutsers and spicers. And this cabin is absolutely off the grid. Mm-hmm. So we are in the place we finally wanted to be. This is how I originally envisioned Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen.
This is the country kitchen.
This is it. Now, we've got laying here some perfect nature's gift morels. Now, I went out with Rick Hill. You remember seeing him on our catfishing show? A friend of mine. He brought his Willys Jeep out. He's a lover of antiquity too, but he's a naturalist as well, and artist. We collected these, and I started thinking, how am I going to make these? And I started thinking, we could do the butter thing, but I thought, you know what? The salt rocks. But first, we've talked about this forever. We're finally going to do it. We're going to raise sheep. But before we raise sheep, we need to talk to somebody who's already been there, already done that. So let's go visit with Janine. Janine Wishy.
Welcome, Tim Farmer.
It's about time I meet you.
I know.
You are doing exactly what I want to do.
Awesome.
Now, a lot of people are going to recognize that last name, Wishy.
Yes.
And I didn't realize he's kind of a legend.
Yeah.
That's his home.
Yes.
And
Andy and I moved here.
He...
Yeah, we moved here when I was 10 years old in 1979. Mom and Dad had a passive solar house designed. And then Andy and I moved out here maybe 11, 12 years ago. Mm-hmm. This place is important to me on so many different levels. Yeah. I mean, it allows us to do what we like to do, but it's so very much my father. We can kind of keep what he started alive, in the right sort of way. So
you have got to me, it's a lot of land.
Yeah.
It's 20 acres, but you can do so much on 20 acres. What do you do here on 20 acres? I know we have sheep, but what else?
Right, so we have sheep that we raise for meat. We also have about 75 laying hens, so we have an egg CSA and sell our eggs that way.
Hey, when we get down here, can we look at the chickens too?
Absolutely, yeah.
One of the reasons we're here today is because I just got my fence.
Okay.
My solar fence. I'm getting there. I'm nowhere near, I want to be you when I grow up.
Okay.
But as I look back
Thanks
here.
for making me feel old.
I'm probably much older than you. I guarantee I'm much older than you. But as I look back here and see this pastoral scene of these lambs and these babies and future food.
Future food, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of questions. Obviously, you just don't go out and buy a bunch of sheep and go to town.
Right.
There's issues such as fencing, and as I look around, I see movable fence, which we have now, and I see,
permanent,
in the ground permanent type stuff.
Everything that we raise here, something else wants to get before we can get it, right? With the sheep, knock on wood, thank goodness, we have not had any problems. We have good permanent fencing. The electronet, we trust it. And then we also have 2 enormous white dogs.
I almost didn't get out of the car. I thought they were big babies.
I know, they are actually. Who are sealing the deal for us. The last big job they did was chase off a coyote, which was great. So they're pretty much keeping that kind of, on the ground pressure away.
The electro-netting is such a wonderful anti-predator deal.
It really is. Everything leads with their nose. They're going to touch it and they're going to remember that. You want to train them straight away. I had it up, but it wasn't on, and I came out and there was a lamb wrapped up in it. I mean, literally, it was a difficult proposition to sort of get it out. So always keep it electrified so they know that it's never something to get all tangled up in.
There's obviously some issues with keeping any animal, and one with sheep would be parasites. And how do you worm them? How often do you have to worm them?
Right. Many of the programs and conferences that Andy and I have gone to are emphasizing smart parasite control. So they no longer recommend that you deworm on a regular schedule. There's something called FAMACHA, which is it's a color chart, if you will, and you use that to assess the animals, like if it's anemic or if it's healthy, right? And that's going to indicate a heavier parasite load if it looks anemic. So you can you basically drop their eyelid down to see how pink or how pale those membranes are. You can also tell, like my pink-nosed ewes, I will take a look at them, just how pink is your nose? Or how pale is your nose, right? And you can look at other parts of their body where you see that membrane. So we will only deworm if we feel like somebody selectively needs to be dewormed, just because of only so many chemicals are available that are effective, and because of increased resistance to what's available. So they're really emphasizing a selective deworming.
So how do you get a hold of a sheep to pull the eyelid down? That's what I want to know.
Very good, exactly. This is, we did purchase some handling equipment, and then you can just lean over and do what you have to do. So
breeding. You got a cat out here. I noticed he was like, I'd really like to be in there, but
yeah.
you had him outside of here. How is the cycle there?
The ewes cycle every 16 days for about 36 hours. It's remarkable because the ram absolutely knows who he needs to go to. I mean, it really is. I mean, they sniff and they curl up their lips and
keep it PG, Jimmy.
Yeah, and I won't go any further. But like, there's certain things that we need to be aware of. But like, you can watch and in 16 days, everybody should have gone through their cycle, right? And he knows, and then I can pull him and move on.
And the thing that we talked about that's going to be fun for me, because I can come out here and learn from you. If folks are watching this, they can learn from us. Mm-hmm. I'm going to come back when these little guys are ready. I'm going to buy some from you.
Awesome, yeah, for your breeding stock.
Is that not cool?
That is very cool.
Shelter. Do they need shelter?
It's not a bad idea to have shelter, right? Mm-hmm. We also have a gutter on it, so in a rain barrel, so we can collect water.
Very good.
We're not on city water out here, so we take our water usage and collection very seriously.
You said that you don't have people mow your yard.
Yeah.
You got a whole lawnmower force out here.
Exactly, yeah.
So you just moved to area?
I do, and I look at grass in a completely different way now. Before it was like, oh, I have to mow. I have to keep up with this. When am I going to get this done? And now I'm like, awesome, there's a lot of grass growing over there, and I can move them there in a week.
Wow, the sun came out.
It did. It's
warming
up.
Day.
It is a beautiful day.
I could talk to you about this for hours, and maybe we'll go, once I get my sheep,
sure,
we'll go to the advanced stage. Maybe let you come out of our place and look and see what we got going on, and give us some advanced education there. But now, I hear one of my favorite things in the world, chickens.
Chickens.
In the background.
Yep.
Can we go look at your chickens?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's go do that.
All right.
Your sheep sound really funny.
I know. It's like calm to sheep, as your point was, right? And chickens are entertaining. Certain times of the day, you don't really want to be back here, and it's this time
when they're laying
because
eggs.
They're laying eggs, and it's a little bit of a scene.
It must be a little bit painful, or why would they make that much? Is it painful?
No, I think they're just like, woo, I laid an egg.
Celebrating.
Yes.
Now let's talk about your operation here, because you eat chicken, you eat lamb. You've got a lot of them.
I do.
So apparently you probably sell some as well.
Yes, absolutely. We have a primary customer base of with our egg CSA. So when I deliver the eggs, I say, who wants chicken? Or, I'll send the inventory of lamb that we have. We also sell our lamb in wholes and halves to people, seasonally. We've sold some of the chickens to restaurants. The Bristol Bar and Grill downtown has bought lamb, and I've talked to them about buying chicken this season. These guys will be harvested. Before I even order my chicks, I make sure that I get my processing date. So they'll be processed on June 17th. So yeah, some of them will go to, you got to diversify the farm, but you have to diversify who you're selling your product to as well. So I can move a chunk of them to a restaurant and then still have a good inventory for my customers and grow my customer base in a little bit of a different way too, since we've got more.
Your chickens have got free access to a lot of area.
Right.
What's the difference between your chickens and one you might go pick up in some plain wrapper and you don't know where it's come from?
Right.
What's the difference?
Conventionally raised chickens are raised inside of pole barns or whatnot.
Tiny little cages.
Well, and some that not necessarily in cages, they can be roaming about, but they're still all inside of a building. Mm-hmm. And the situation is controlled in a little bit of a different way. I think, when it comes to, the breed is different too. This is a Freedom Ranger. There's a density and a flavor to the meat that's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. They're raised to 10 weeks, so you get some enzyme action that you wouldn't get from a chicken that was maybe, many of the Cornish crosses are processed at 6 weeks. So that having a little more age on it actually is a good thing. Meat is muscle, right? So their ability to be able to move around and forage a little more freely also is going to work to the advantage of the end product.
What kind of chickens are these again?
I have the meat chickens are Freedom Rangers.
Freedom Rangers,
right?
gotcha.
My laying hens are a whole bunch of different breeds.
Gotcha.
So I think now that we're getting into it in a more business sort of way, when you add replacement hens, you get a certain breed that year, so okay,
This
the
does this.
Astrolorps were from 2013. The Barred Rocks were from 2014. You know what I mean? So
Gotcha.
how productive everybody's going to be.
So interesting to see a small farm with so much. You can do so much on the acreage that you have.
Right.
And I would like to come back and visit more and maybe step things up a notch each time, and for folks who want to learn. And I know you're a teacher.
Yeah.
So you do very well on camera.
Right.
You're telling us the stuff that we need to know, and that's absolutely wonderful. I have a small chicken operation. We have 5 hens, a rooster, and a peahen. I don't know what happened to her mate, but I think Bobcat ate him.
There you go. And you're going to go get yourself a little night guard light, so that you can maybe keep those raccoons away.
They are evil, and they will find a way into situations where you just didn't think they would. Now, let's talk about laying hens.
Sure.
And what they eat. Are they allowed to go out and roam and do what they want?
Yeah, they do whatever they want.
They do whatever they want.
They do.
They have free reign.
Yeah, they get to do whatever they want. They always have access to water. We collect rainwater off the roof in tubs here, but then we also have a 1,000-gallon rain barrel around the corner that we use to water all the animals. Again, predator control is probably the thing that you need to take really seriously. We've got two really great workers.
What are their names?
Finca is a Great Pyrenees, and Baxter is a Marima.
People that may ask questions, your dad got asked a bunch of questions. Yeah. We may have some of those questions come in to ask you next time, if you won't mind answering those questions for those folks.
Not at all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know what? Those were nice people. I really like her. And we're going to gain more and more information from her. Her daddy was a legend. Nice people.
Beautiful place.
Farm people are the best people. Now, as we get up to temperature here, we can't have sheep if we can't keep them in.
Right.
Now, something we deal with out here in the country with our chickens.
Predators.
Oh, I hate them. And what we found when we talked to the Kin Cove people out of Pennsylvania, they make electric fence netting. Now, it keeps the predators out, keeps the sheep in.
Be nice.
Everybody's happy. Let's talk to them. I'm with Lacey Weimer from Pennsylvania, and tell us who you work for.
Kin Cove Farm Fence Supplies. The home warehouse is based in Blairsville, Pennsylvania, which is about 30 miles east of Pittsburgh.
My wife is Greek, so she introduced me several years ago to lamb. I'd had it before, but then I started messing around with it and making it different ways, and now we're in love with lamb. And in Western Kentucky, it's all about the mutton, so I want to do both, but I don't want to raise a bunch. Now, last year we had pigs over here. Pigs are in the freezer.
So you're starting a new project.
You were starting a new project. And when I found out about you guys, I thought we have got to try this, because there's so many different ways. For cattle, you have this kind of fence. For horses, you have this kind of thing. But I wanted something that would keep them in, but even more importantly, right next to the woods, predators out. As I'm looking here, obviously, this is a solar-powered outfit with a battery.
Sure.
And it's a netting, which you can take and stick in the ground and move it as you see fit.
Yeah, very portable, easy, lightweight, easy to move. You can roll it back up, store it for winter, bring it back out in the spring. It is electrifiable, so there's within this line there are stainless steel conductors.
So when Wile E. Coyote comes over here and says, "Hey, look at there, it's dinner," and he sticks his nose up there, he's gonna get
electrified.
Now I see that there's a stake on each one of those. You stick it in the ground, unroll it wherever you want that to be.
Yes.
So if you want to switch from one area to the next and just kind of move them along to that next fresh grass scenario, there you are.
There's 13 step-in posts.
Gotcha.
So you can see in a little while we'll just kind of throw them out as we go along and then walk back around, stand it up and step it in.
All right, I'm looking at this little rig right here.
Yeah,
Very
this is
portable.
a solar dolly.
Tell us how it works.
Okay, so whenever you pick your fence, then you're going to want to choose a solar energizer that matches your fence. And our general recommendation is that you want to have a 1/4 joule from your energizer output per electric net. And then this little component here is a solar charge controller. And I always say it's the brains of the operation. It basically controls the energy going into the battery and the energy leaving the battery, and it has a low voltage disconnect so that if you would run across maybe a period that you don't have any sun, your battery doesn't totally dissipate and kill itself.
You set this stuff out and it just rolls. How long before you have to replace a battery? Or
as long as you have the solar controller that doesn't let it totally dissipate over and over again, you'll get a long period of time out of that battery. The electric nets are actually made in the Blairsville facility, and this is the only electric net that's made in the USA. Any other places that sell electric netting is imported. We're just going to untie the strings, let the stakes fall, give it a little push here and unroll. Just pick the 13 step-in post up in your hand, find your first one, and just give it a toss.
Okay, how about that?
And then walk backwards till it gets tight again, and then you can throw out your second post.
Oh, wow.
So then you'll just start with your first post, pick it up, step it in, and then just pretty much, eyeball them as close to straight as you want to get it, pull it tight. It's built of very durable material. These are 1/2-inch fiberglass rods.
How about that? This is so movable.
Yes, very
you just
portable.
Move them all over the place.
Extremely portable. So then you're just going to take your green ropes that we used earlier to untie the net, and that's what you're going to tie your posts together with. Want your solar panel to face due south, which to my calculation should be
You are correct.
right about there. This is what we call quick ground rod, so it has its built-in hammer. So very portable.
All right, hang on. Let me check it. Let me check it right now. Ready? I'm just kidding.
Lead outs from your Energizer. Green goes to your ground. Red goes to your fence. So we're just going to make sure that the controller is on. It'll be a little red light if you push the green button, and then we'll just turn the fence Energizer 2 on, and you can see the light and hear the fence Energizer ticking. It ticks with every pulse.
All right, now let me ask you this. Somebody wants to get a hold of you guys. I'm going to order a bunch of this. So basically, you said it take about 2 days to get it here.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you get a hold of you guys?
As
Email or?
As long as the product is in stock, we usually ship it out that day. If you place your order by noon, 1-800-KENCOVE or www.kencove.com. We do a lot of online ordering. There's a lot of product descriptions there to visit, as well as tutorials, videos to watch on how to set your net up, how to tear it down.
So this is the trick to not tangling it, correct?
Just set them down. And then just the way we went back setting it out post by post, you want to pick it up the same way. So you want to take the first post directly to the second post, pick up your second post, go directly to your third post.
Wow.
And then when you get to the end, you just roll your netting up and tie it back up with your green strings.
You know what? This is exciting. I'm going to be a sheep farmer. I've done the pig thing. Now it's time to do the sheep thing. Thank you so much for coming down. Absolutely. All right, one thing to remember about this wonderful little item, keep plenty of oil on it in the beginning. These won't take long. Now the great thing about this, it gives it just enough salty taste. Turn them over. Tell you what, I'm about ready to take this batch out on the porch. You're getting mighty close.
It's good. I'm ready to eat them.
Let's go to the front porch, call it a night. We can step back into time every week in Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. Now, classic country kitchen. We're going to be cooking outside. We're going to be raising a garden. We're going to visit Bobby Joe very shortly. We got some folks, again, who are going to show us how to eat stuff right here off the land. All kinds of fun stuff coming up. Plus, we got critters coming. But until then, it's all about
Good times.
good friends.
Good eats.
We'll see you next week on Tim Farmer's Classic Country Kitchen. Yum, yum.
Delicious.
To order a cookbook or DVD of the show, please call 502-319-0487 or email timfarmerck@gmail.com.
Special thanks to Chrisman Mill Vineyards, Good Foods Market and Cafe, Kentucky Beer Cheese, Polecat Custom Smokers, and Weisenberger Mill. Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen brought to you by Kentucky Sheep and Goat Development Office. Try something different tonight. Salt Rocks, the flavor of life.